Sweet. Alrighty, so it's got that 20-second delay, so hopefully it's actually working.
Yeah. Yeah. Tune into Shit Show.
Alright, hopefully the delay
All
works.
right. So, hello and welcome, guys. My name is Will.
And I'm Jason.
Welcome to the Shit Show. So, for tonight, we actually have a very interesting topic to talk about, which I will share in just a moment.
We're trying to make sure we get everything done properly this time. Nothing like hearing our own stupid ass laughs.
Yeah, right. Oh, we are on right now.
Sweet. Seems like the delay did work then.
It did.
Alrighty. So, since you have a book, why don't you go ahead and get us started, buddy?
Okay, so today we're actually going to be talking about philosophy, because I feel it's super relevant to mental health. Actually, when I was learning about this lesson in philosophy class, I was going nuts over it because I feel like it's extremely relevant to mental health and self-identity. So I'll just go ahead by reading you the first experiment, which is by a philosopher named John Locke.
He's got that shit on lock. Had to.
Wow.
I had to, bro.
Okay. So we have The Prince and the Cobbler by John Locke. And just so I don't have to bore you with the giant 2 pages that this is, I'm just going to read the brief. So, what makes our identity the same over time? Clearly, there are lots of things that change about us. For example, when we grow older, to grapple with this question, John Locke asks us to imagine the soul of a prince which enters the body of a cobbler. A cobbler is someone that makes shoes, by the way, in case you don't know that.
If you don't, you really, really should. That's your own fault for being dumb.
In Locke's version of the thought experiment, it's not clear where the soul of the cobbler goes, but the prince's soul is now in the cobbler's body. Would the prince still be the same person? He would still have all of his princely thoughts, but he'd still look to everyone else like the cobbler. Also, if we agree it is the same person, would we still say that the cobbler's body with the prince's soul was the same man? Now, when I first heard about this, when we first read this lesson, because we read this one 1st, and then we ended up reading the other one, which is more in line with Buddhist beliefs, right? I somewhat agreed with this, but at the same time, thinking on it more after reading the next passage, I was like, shit, nah, Locke's is, I fully disagree with it, because I feel like, because the way you have to think about it is, what if you just woke up in someone else's body? Would you still be you? I mean, maybe at first, you'd probably still think the same and do the same, but once you fucking fully realize and encapsulate what you are now, you'd adapt. Period. There's no way you would have an inkling of a person of you left, unless you somehow got transformed back to your body. But the idea is that your soul and consciousness are now someone else. You woke up in another person's body. It's sure, maybe you have some of the same foundation pieces that are a part of you naturally, but no, I don't think you'd be the same person at all.
I agree with you for the most part, but I think that's if they stay in the new nurture and nature, I guess you could say. If you were put into that person's body, yeah, I mean, yes, he was put into the body of a cobbler. So if he stays there and he is like, oh crap, I have to learn how to cobble, and starts trying to figure out how to make shoes and trying to learn who the people are in his life, of course, yes, he's eventually going to morph into some kind of hybrid between himself and the previous person.
I mean,
But if he's like, oh my god, I'm in a cobbler's body, but uh, obviously I can't go back to being a prince. I don't look like myself. He can be like, screw this, I'm out, and completely bounce, and then just be like, I'm gonna travel the world now. Before I had to,
but
you know what I'm saying?
Think about it like this, though.
He could be the same person. He could be who he always wanted to be when he wasn't forced to be a prince.
Yeah, but who said he was forced to be a prince? The story never indicates that. It just says you're a prince, which means this was your upbringing. Like, you're used to servants serving you. You're used to riding everywhere in a friggin' chariot, not walking. You're used to having the fanciest
He
clothes.
was
the
born
nicest
into
shoes.
it.
Exactly.
That's being forced
So-
into it. I feel like
That's
being
more ingrained than
being
anything
alive
else.
is being forced. Sorry.
That's more like ingrained in you than anything else. So it's just you It's like growing up with a silver spoon in your mouth. You know, like
But not
those guys have no like most of the time. Those kids do not understand the value of a freaking dollar, at all.
Yeah, of course, but there is also times where the kids are just going through the parents' motions that they want them to do, but inside they want and wish and hope for vastly different things. And that is what would be their true self, not this grade A student, violinist, oh, and then piano recital, I speak six language children kind of things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they,
I can agree with that.
inside they could be like, I just want to join the circus. You have no idea. You know what I'm saying? A person's true identity to themselves is in their heart.
Like,
but dude, you like I
like
said
to
though,
me, I'm like, if I was like forced to wake up in someone else's body, like first of all, your surroundings are going to be completely different. How do you know that they're even in like the same country?
that's true.
It's like
But
you'd have to learn to adapt more than anything else in my eyes.
well, yeah, I mean, you'll definitely have to adapt no matter what. But there's some things that you'd have to adapt to, whether you were still the prince. I mean, if you were that prince and you dropped him in a foreign country, he still would also have to adapt and learn that language.
That's true.
So, I think, like the first thing that comes to my mind. What's up, Padre? Appreciate you joining the show.
So, Bob,
Dang, my mic's like up in my grill. Hold up. I'll fix this a little bit later. Try not to block my face. But
I would call it censoring.
but yeah. So like, if that prince had to live that existence, you know what I'm saying? Like he in his life, he's like, God, I've always wanted to travel. Or say he really loves food because obviously he has the best chefs in the palace, but they only cook stuff from their local lands. He's like, oh, I want to travel and eat foods from all over the world. You know what I'm saying? But he probably would never get that opportunity except for like occasional balls and outings and stuff.
Yeah.
Because he's
Or,
always got to
like,
have guards and
alliances.
be protected, and yeah, and you can't be like, oh, I saw the blah 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 king and the blah 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 kingdom. They're aligning now. War. You know what I'm saying?
Well, just to make it more interesting, this is supposed to be set in like Afghanistan, essentially, like really old Afghanistan, 1694, but medieval times, further back.
I mean, same thing. You could be born and be like, say, the ruler's son could have a kind heart, and that ruler, especially in Middle Eastern times in history, they were brutal. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's brutal everywhere,
yeah.
but you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So he would probably be borderline a slave.
But that's what I'm saying. So,
Is that really something that you're gonna?
But if
you're gonna try to just be your own thing, or you're going to adapt because you fucking have no choice at that point. Because you have no choice at that point.
I think we made it past the F-bomb mark. Hopefully,
I hope so.
Fingers crossed.
Either way,
but
you get the passion behind that statement. Like,
yeah,
dude.
but if you're born into that leadership, you are automatically going to be born into. You're going to be a part of the army and war and leading thousands of men into battle. You're going to be responsible for thousands of lives, and you're going to be taking thousands of lives. If that child in their heart just wants to learn about science or fucking go to the moon or whatever, you know what I'm saying? If that's what that child wants in their heart, but that's what their father's making them, if they have a chance to, because even if they are a basic slave, guess what? Now you can also be a freaking refugee. You know what I'm saying? Because it's much harder for a prince to just vanish and run off and hide in a foreign country versus just some random citizen. So
Yeah,
then you can escape that, you know.
that's true. I mean, as a cobbler, like no one would even bat an eye over his disappearance.
I mean, it's not like it's exactly much better, but I'm pretty sure the British still had a pretty good foothold around lots of places at that
Eh,
point in time. So
definitely Africa.
yeah, yeah,
That's
that's what I'm
like,
saying. So like, could have at least took off to a British kind of nation. I mean, even if I'd rather be, lesser of two evils, I would say.
that's fair. Yeah, I don't know. I had mixed feelings about this one. You know, like at first I'd be like, of course I'd be the same person, and then I was like, really thinking deeply. I don't know. I was like, oh hell no. I mean, I would at the core of my being, I would probably be the same, but I feel like I'd have to adapt to like whatever my surroundings are. Like, you know what I mean? It tripped me out to think about that.
But I feel like that is also, I don't know. Like I said, I feel like
Like imagine, like
it's a situational thing.
let's go ahead and just imagine that you tomorrow morning woke up in China in someone else's body, male or female, whatever your imagination runs, doesn't matter. You just wake up a completely different person. Initial reaction, probably confused and freaked out. Is this real? Right?
I mean, to be I mean, yeah, to be completely honest with you, after I probably had like a mental breakdown in this person's apartment or house, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not my stuff in my mind. I'm just gonna fucking freak out and smash and cry, and then once
Like in your head, it's not yours. Then you're gonna be like,
shit, it is
mine.
mine. Yeah. So honestly, in that situation, I don't know, but I'm a crazy person. So to me, in that situation, if that exact thing happened to me once I came to my realization, I would immediately buy a like just a cheap burner phone kind of thing from uh, Walmart or whatever they have over there. I don't know. I would get some kind of phone, and I would call the U.S. Embassy, and I would be like, I have no idea what happened. Um, I would just be like, I have no idea what happened, but the mind that is currently in this body is an American citizen. What do you need me to do? I'm gonna be a spy. I'm gonna try and get as much information as I can, and sow as much discontent as I possibly can.
Oh, dude, you're
You know what I'm saying? Because I mean,
awesome.
that's a once in a lifetime opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
You're not wrong.
Because if you're just
You're not wrong. Or would they just think you're absolutely insane trying to pull the whole I identify as an American, even though I've been a Chinese citizen my whole life?
well, then when I start dropping my social security number, my date of birth, everybody,
they're just gonna think you stole it. You're from China now, dude.
Like, I will tell them to call somebody that I was with the day before the switch and verify
Hey, who
some
said it
shit
was a
that happened.
switch?
Oh, what happens to the other person?
Exactly. In the story, it does not say what happens to the cobbler at all.
Damn.
So you're like presumed dead, basically. Just like the prince is presumed dead. You get what I'm saying? So like you in America are dead. So like you spouting all this information off about an American citizen that recently died would just make it look like you hacked some computer system to get that information.
I don't know.
And probably steal your identity, even though it's actually yours.
I would be like, even if that's the case, come arrest me then. Get me the fuck out of here.
Like that's why I was like, that's the part that made me go, okay, what the hell, dude? Like this isn't like a Freaky Friday thing. This is just so this dude wakes up Prince and then suddenly just takes over another body. Like that's so messed up.
Uno momento. Is it better now, Padre?
Can you hear better?
It's just your mic. He said Will needs to adjust his mic. You can't hear him clearly like I can hear you. I think it's because it's actually like pointed at me a little bit, but I'm not sure if you can. Yeah, you should be able to do that still.
I'll just bring it closer to my face.
Yeah, hopefully that helps. Thanks,
Well,
Pops.
I wish this thing rotated. It does not rotate like that.
No, it does not. How did I get mine to do it? Oh, I think the part that we had to glue on yours is what I rotated on mine.
How about now? That better?
I don't know. Hope that works. Okay, so
Well, anyway.
so yeah, dude, that's a good question because he said he can hear better when you turn towards
Okay.
the mic. So that I feel like that brings up a good question, not just about identity, but about consciousness and soul.
Yeah.
Because if the cobbler's soul is also still there, you know what I'm saying? Like
It doesn't insinuate that either, though. It's like the soul of the cobbler is just. It's such a strange self-identity thing.
well, yeah,
But Locke's whole argument, like at bottom line, the whole argument is that the continuity of soul and consciousness is what he believed in. And it's like, yeah, no shit, you're still going to continue either way. Like,
yeah.
but are you the same man, or are you the mind of the man?
I don't know. I do feel like that also does depend a lot on the type of, you know what I'm saying? Like when you're talking about the man, like the person themselves. If it is just a natural inherent characteristic of that specific person. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
like me, I am extremely hard headed and I believe and think the way I do and I mean come hell or high water, I'm not changing that. You know what I'm saying? And it often gets me in trouble, but it's just who I am. So I feel like that
Gee, I
would be.
wonder where you get that from.
I know, I do too. Yeah, so I do. I feel like I'm such a stubborn, resilient, strong-willed person of who I am and the way I am. I feel like that a
You would
lot of,
that's what I mean. Like the core of your being would still be there.
but I feel like that, but the
But
core
at the
of
end
my
of the day,
being,
would you still be the same man?
I feel like it is because my core of myself
Or
is what
possibly
I
even
put
a
out for
better one?
everyone. You know what I'm saying?
Or possibly a better
Hell no.
one?
No, if no, because if for sure it's definitely not going to make me a better person because if I somehow start adapting to somebody else or I start being like, you know what, this isn't my life. I might be like, all right, now I'm going to be a vigilante. Now I'm going to be a freaking bank thief. You know
I'm
what I'm
gonna be
saying?
Batman, dude.
Yeah, everybody thinks I'm dead. I'm gonna now go back to the U.S. and kill every person that I've ever hated. That's just some random Chinese man. They'd be
That
like,
makes sense.
yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Totally.
And then after,
Yeah, because that's what a normal person does when they find out they're in another person's
because you know what? Well, you know what's gonna happen then? Then that my crazy psychotic phone call to the U.S. embassy, they're gonna be like, oh my god, that Asian
it
man.
really is you.
Yeah, that Asian man that called us was saying he was Jason, just came back
Or they're
and
just gonna
killed everyone Jason had beef with.
Or it's just gonna solidify that you are absolutely insane, and you are just taking this identity theft very seriously.
Yeah. But I feel like, but that's a part of because I wouldn't see myself in the mirror. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it would feel like I have the world's best disguise.
So you'd feel very ninja.
So yeah. Oh my god, dude! Anybody who's watching, if you've never seen that, I want to be ninja. Is one of the funniest
Bro, that
things.
was like one of the most racist things I've ever seen, and it was amazing.
But it's so funny because this lady is sick. It's a white lady that looks like a Karen,
I think I'm ninja.
and she's singing a song about wanting to be a ninja, and with an Asian accent.
Oh god.
And her friend, who's Asian, is standing there.
No, there's like 3 Asian ladies standing right in the front.
Yeah, but I know for sure one of them was her actual friend, and her friend is just like, oh god, why did I bring her? You know what I'm saying? Like you could see it in her face.
Dude. Instant regret. Like, I really think I'm ninja.
That was so wild, bro.
Y'all should look it up though. It's hilarious, man. Oh my god. Oh my god. the Bobby Lee and I forgot the other guy's name. Andrew something.
Andrew Santino.
Yeah.
I love them.
Dude, oh my
Bad
God.
Friends.
They're
Shout out.
amazing.
You'll never see this because we're nobodies, but
Yeah, you'll
I
never
love
see
Bad
this
Friends.
probably, but shout out to y'all. You guys are freaking hilarious. Oh my God. But anyway,
thank you for being here, Mandy. Appreciate you joining.
what's up? So, shall we move on to the next experiment?
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like we've discussed that and gotten pretty sideways.
Yeah, I think.
So let's go ahead and get to the
like
next
we
one.
went polar opposite of
Yeah.
where I was trying to go with it. I mean, but hey, we got the truth out there.
Yeah.
We got the truth.
Let's roll with it.
So the next experiment that we learned, which opposes Locke's philosophy on self-identity, is The Self and the Chariot by Nagasena. And just a little background, Nagasena is a Buddhist monk. So the monk Nagasena had an audience with King Milinda. The king asked Nagasena what his name was, and Nagasena replied, "I'm known as Nagasena, but that is just convention. The name does not refer to any permanent individual." The king expressed his disbelief. "If you are not a permanent individual," he protested, "then how can you be said to be righteous or not righteous? If someone were to kill you, there would be no murder." Nagasena then asked the king how he had come to their meeting place. "By chariot," the king replied. "What is the chariot?" Nagasena asked. "Is it the axle, the wheels, the chassis, the reins, the yoke, all these things together, or yet something different?" The king replied, "It's none of those things." "Ah, then it seemed you were lying when you said you came with a chariot, since you can't show it," Nagasena concluded. "No, I spoke the truth," the king retorted. "It's called a chariot because it has all of those parts." "You are right," Nagasena said. "My body is composed of the physical stuff that makes up human bodies, and that is why I am called Nagasena." Both the king and the monk were pleased with the solution of how you can have a name that refers even though there is no permanent self. So, just to give a little background to anyone that doesn't know much about Buddhism, is their whole belief is that life is suffering. That is literally their entire belief. And it doesn't mean that in like a depressing, like, kill yourself kind of way. They actually mean it as in, you are going to go through hardship, period. It doesn't matter where you're from, who you're with, what your upbringing is, whether you're rich, poor, third world country, modern country, does not matter. You are going to go through suffering of your own. But it's kind of goes in line with, are you going to define your life, or are you going to let your life define you?
I've never thought about myself possibly being Buddhist because life is suffering.
But that is exactly
That's crazy.
That's exactly what this experiment speaks to, is you, as a whole, are Jason, right?
Mm-hmm.
But are you the same person now that you were at 5 years old? Do you think you're going to be the same person now that you are at 45? No. No, because the thing is, what they're saying is life is suffering, right? The different paths of suffering that we go through on our own changes us in different ways. Like, for all we know, 3 years you get into an accident, you lose one of your arms. So now you have to learn to live with that.
Yeah.
But does that mean you're never going to be happy again because you lost your arm? No. It just means that you're on a path to find your own happiness, even with that suffering.
I mean, it really depends on which arm.
The left.
Okay. I mean, I'm just saying, I can definitely deal without, you know what I'm saying? I can't shoot somebody with my left hand. I can shoot somebody with my right hand.
It's always got
For self-defense, for driving, for writing, for using a mouse. You know what I'm saying? My righty, jerking it, whatever. My righty's got to stay. If it's my left arm, yes, I can be happy again. If it's my right arm, most likely not.
Yeah. But I fully agree with this experiment, and the reason why I felt so strongly about this experiment was just thinking back on recent years for myself. Like, it just got me thinking. It's like, shit, 2 years ago I was 270 pounds, super depressed. Like, I didn't feel, like, this year I started feeling like I'm not everything I want to be right now,
Mhm.
but I'm right now. I am on that path. Do I know when it's going to be here? No. But right now, my head's on straight. I know exactly what I'm doing, where I'm going. I mean, dude, think about it. I said F school right out of high school. I said, screw it. I'm done with high school. I'm gonna go work. I'm gonna figure it out because there's so many people that figure it out. Like they get a good job, they never went to college a day in their life, and they work their way up and they make good money and get benefits and get married and have a family and buy a house, blah blah blah. The white picket fence, all that bullshit.
Mhm.
But I never realized how ignorant I was, how ignorant that thought was. Because personally, I tried to go to school. I wasn't ready for it. I didn't want it. Didn't care. And I think I had to go through giving it my own shot first, seeing if I could find my happiness, right? But instead, I just dealt with suffering.
Dude, I get that
A
100%.
whole lot of suffering.
But dude, same thing. Right after high school, I moved to Washington.
Suffering.
Dumbest fucking thing I ever did.
Well, because you were trying to reconnect with your mom.
That's the thing. Yeah, I was trying to reconnect with my mom and my mom's side of the family because I have a grip of siblings. I have a grip of nieces and nephews. Like
Grip,
over
bro.
20 between all of them. Okay, between my brothers and sisters, 20 nieces and nephews. That's not an exaggeration. Anywho,
I think I'm at 10.
yeah. I mean, I love my family, and I definitely did get some good moments with them. But honestly, all that did was put a giant derail on my life. Because I was going to go to school either way, but my plan was to go up there, try to reconnect with them, establish residency, and then go to Washington State University, and where I was living. And then when I finally did apply to Pullman, sorry, it was in Pullman, apply to WSU, they were like, so basically you'd have to go back and finish your associates there to start as a freshman here because of the way the credits would transfer. They're like, this is our high schoolers do this. This one isn't even a credit here. And like, so yeah.
Wild.
So it was. I mean, it was a big fuddy duddy all the way around, and it derailed the hell out of my life. And I didn't go to WSU, obviously.
Well, I mean, hey, you tried though, and
I did.
But that's what life's about. It's about taking risks. Now, understand with risk, there's reward, but what does it take to get to that reward?
Yeah.
It's probably not a pretty path either way, dude. And
just,
that's one thing that I've definitely realized living up to now is all the things that I've been through, and then the worst thing to ever happen to me was, my life just falling apart right in front of my face without me being able to do a damn thing to stop it. Like literally nothing in the world. No amount of money would have stopped it. No matter how hard I tried, how hard I loved, no matter how loyal and trustworthy and how much I was there, it didn't matter. That life was never going to stay or head in the direction I wanted it because I was enabling. I was enabling people treating me badly.
And slightly blinded.
And super blinded. By, hey, I can do this for you, do this for you, do this for you. Like, there was a TikTok video that I saw, right? It's a really short video. This is a black dude. And he said, my first day of therapy was a real awakening moment. He said, I went into therapy, and the therapist said, man, you seem really well adjusted. Why are you here? And he said, well, I'm a great father, I'm a great employee, I'm a great husband, and I feel like I could be better at those things. So I wanted to try therapy. Right? And so the therapist said, okay, well, what about yourself? He had no answer. Basically, he was so caught up in being a great employee, a great father, a great husband, being great at all these things that have nothing to do with his own happiness, that he had really no identity of his own, other than those things that are a part of his life. It's like, kind of like relevant to this, right? So in other parts of this, they'll actually talk a little bit more in depth of the chariot, right? So like the chariot, is it still the chariot if you add like a new seat to it, or like a new wheel, or have to change out the chassis? Yeah, still the same fucking chariot, just newer parts, different parts. And that insinuates growth, change. Because over time, whatever suffering you go through, it can be fixed. You can find a way to make it work.
Oh, that's a good argument for the people that are, what do they call them? Enhanced human people. Because everybody always said, because we're going into the generation where you can start putting technology into your body or on your body, and people are always like,
I don't know if that's what it was referring to. It's more
but no, because like think about it. No, because seriously, because there's lots of people that are super excited and open about transhumanism, and there's lots of people that are saying, if you do all of that, are you still going to be the same person? And that's it right there. Even if they change out their arms, even if they change out some of their parts, they'll still be the same person, unless they change out their brain, which is what I feel like is the capacitor of identity. It's not where your identity comes from; it's where your identity is expressed.
That's fair. So I actually I had to have a reading response to this, and I'll go ahead and read it for you. And so my reading response to this.
You have to read us a book.
No, it's 2 paragraphs. Okay, so the question was, do you think you will be the same person when you are 32 as when you were 5? If so, why or why not? I said, I feel at the core of my being I will be the same in certain ways as when I was 5. But who William Dahlia is will not be the same. I'm currently 31 years old, and in just the last 2 years, I've become someone completely different than who I was at 29. 2 years ago, I was becoming someone I didn't recognize as the happy-go-lucky young child with his heart on his sleeve, just eager to get to adulthood and meet the love of my life. Then all that came crashing down as it all happened right in front of me. I hated who I was becoming when I felt like that at 29. But I was forced to ask myself, who is Will Dahlia? Since my life completely changed at 29, I've had to drag myself through financial crisis, loneliness, unhealthiness, and self-insecurity. I work diligently trying to find my identity again and figure out what makes me happy. I had to figure out what things were truly important to me, only to realize that life will always have its suffering, and parts of me may change or grow, but it's up to me to create that happiness for myself. I've learned that I will always be changing as I grow and experience life, the good and the bad. Though my name will always remain the same, I will never be the same as I was at 5 because growth never truly stops, even as we stop physically growing.
Pretty good.
I failed.
Really?
Yeah, because I forgot to actually cite what I was agreeing with and disagreeing with.
Oh.
So, but he was like super moving though.
That's so funny. See,
I mean, it's college. You're supposed to cite what you just learned. Like, that's the whole point of the question.
I know. See, there you go again, monologuing even sober. I'm just kidding. It's good though. It is moving. Oh man.
Thank you. But that was me agreeing with this passage, because as we go through life, you can't know peace without suffering. What is peace if there is no suffering? And what is suffering if there's no peace? It's like you have to have both in order to be able to find that happy middle ground for yourself.
See,
I love that. I don't know. I fell in love with this passage. I really did. As you can tell.
Yeah. I don't know. To me, peace is just the absence of suffering. Like, it's, like, I don't know. Maybe that's just because I've gotten so much doom and gloom nowadays. It's just, you know what I'm saying? I've become much more doom and gloom. Uh,
Pessimism strikes us all, dude.
yeah,
I mean, shit. But, like, that's kind of what I was saying about me a few years ago. It wasn't me. I would blow money even though I was in massive debt. I made good money and never knew how to be financially competent with it, or never cared to take a minute to learn because I was trying so hard to hold my perfect life together.
yeah, but gambling though is one thing. You know what I'm saying?
I wasn't even gambling back then.
Oh,
Not at all.
what are you blowing on money on then?
Shit. Material. iPads, iPhones, friggin' shoes. I paid $300 for a pair of Jordans, dude. Like,
Ew.
and then I bought my friggin' ex-wife like 3 pairs. Yeah, dude. Like, I was just blowing money.
I haven't bought myself a pair of shoes in probably 6 or 7 years.
You see my point, though.
Sarah
Like, I
just-
was just blowing money
Yeah.
on just random things
Yeah, no.
that I thought would make her happy, that I thought would make me happy, that I thought was making my son happy. But really, it was just a way for me to cope with the fact that I hated my life. A way to cope with the fact that I knew my life had an expiration date. I had no idea when. And I knew there was nothing I could do to stop it when it happened. And towards the end, when I recognized it was happening, I felt it in my bones. It was coming to an end.
And this is why sometimes you really should listen to your friends. Even obviously.
But I had no one telling me anything. That was just
no,
my own intuition telling me shit.
No.
Yeah, you all told me in 2017 when I got married.
We
I
told you
know.
before you got married.
I know.
That's what I'm saying.
Dude, we lasted astronomically longer than anyone thought we would.
Yeah, but we all knew that there was an expiration date because of who she is and who you are. It's
We were heading in a good direction until we both lost our dads the same year, 8 months apart. We found her dad dead in the garage. He lived alone.
Well, I mean that sucks.
Had a heart attack.
It takes somebody to see a corpse to maybe be better, but
things started to get better, and then when she saw my dad die, and then COVID happened 2 months after that,
I don't know.
She completely isolated herself from me, and I was just left with my thoughts about my dead dad.
I don't know. There was lots that you didn't see before that, though.
I know.
So
it's like there was so much that I was just ignoring, or
yeah, the signs were there.
I'm
not giving you shit.
I know that now, but
that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. Like sometimes you should listen to your friends, at least to some degree. You know what I mean? Because
of course, but that's what I was saying. It's part of who is Will Dowling. What's important to me? What's important to me? My friends.
Mm-hmm.
What's important to me? My family.
And your friends. Obviously that's all we had in mind is what's important and what's good for you.
I know, but at the time I was just so in love.
I know.
I was so in love and so ready to be at that part of my life where I didn't have to think about it.
Hey, Tyler,
anymore.
welcome, brother. Miss you, man.
What's up?
Always with knocking the table over.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm trying not to hit the wire.
But yeah, I mean, I'm with the original thought that multiple parts make one person, and even if one does get switched out, it doesn't change you.
It does, but it doesn't. Like the way I'm seeing it is, it's growth. You've learned to be happy with it, even though it's not the same as it was.
Well, I don't necessarily think that either. Cause sometimes you just have to adapt, and you will never be happy with the adaptation. No, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you get stuck. You know what I'm saying?
But you still have the ability to make that new part of yourself what you want.
Not always, though. It depends on life situations.
I mean, I feel like that's a matter of perspective, because I've really been able to change pretty much every aspect of myself that I hated.
Yeah, but it's
there are still some parts that still come out at times. Like we were talking about last week.
About yourself internally, yes. But I'm saying the extenuating factors of your actual life that affect those things.
Yeah.
That's a major factor. You know what I'm saying? Because like we were talking about before, somebody could have an extreme love for food, but hey, they're a prince, and they're gonna be cooked for their whole life, and they're never gonna get to travel the world and try new foods and cook for themselves, and you know what I'm saying. They're stuck in that life. So that's you could just, you know what I'm saying. So like if he never got that chance, if he's just stuck there, he'll never get to do that part of himself that makes him
But
happy
what's
that
causing
he's
him to be
expressing.
stuck there?
His position.
But the prince?
Yes.
Well, we're talking about a different thing now.
Well, yeah, but I'm using that as an example.
That's fair. Okay. But modern times,
Okay.
the way things are now,
modern times.
Relating this to
modern times, your parents want you to get into the best college. They're like, you have to get straight A's in all of your classes. You have to take a bunch of extracurricular activities. This is.
But that's someone else taking control of your life. I'm talking about the moment that you, like, dude, I was not ready for adulthood when adulthood came.
Oh yeah, I know.
Like, not at all. Like, I don't feel like high school prepared me. Like, and you know how messy like the last 4 years of high school was for me, my family. Yeah. Don't need to get into that, but it set me back.
Honestly,
if anything,
my mom living up there.
I don't even know how my brother ended up getting through it. I really don't.
Dude, okay, so
and that dude ended up going to BU and then freaking graduated double major in political science and economics, damn near valedictorian at BU, and then goes to freaking Michigan, a top 10 law school.
And he works for a giant corporation as a lawyer, and he's running for political offices. He's a super smart, amazing, down to earth person coming from
and a father of 3,
coming from the same upbringing as this guy. So what's he doing? You know what I'm saying?
I'm working on it
I'm
now,
just kidding.
okay?
I'm just kidding.
It just took me time.
No, honestly, I was
like a butterfly.
I was just shocked. You know what I'm saying? Just because I don't know. Joe's always a smart guy for sure, and he's always a nice guy.
Highly intelligent, yeah.
But just the jokes that he would make and the way he would present
he's so
them.
quick.
Yeah.
He's so quick.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
he's like one of those dudes that like you have to be on your toes if you're gonna go up against him like that.
Yeah,
like,
and
you gotta be on your toes.
Exactly. And that's not somebody that you picture like, oh, this guy is definitely gonna be a lawyer. This guy is definitely gonna be in office. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, he ended up in corporate law. Let's be real. Like, he ended up in corporate and political law. Like, that's what he's doing. So he's trying to get into legislation so that he can make changes for the state of Nevada. Because we both grew up in this system. The school system sucks.
Yeah.
Like, we're all over the place politically. Like, we're pretty much mostly blue in recent years. But like,
what we really need to do.
The state really needs to get work on, man. Like,
what we really need to do.
How the hell has the housing market gone up 80%, and then our median wage has gone up, I think 5%. It was.
Bro, we need to get rid of our Supreme Court. That's what we need to do.
It's so bad. Like, we need work. We need help. And going through political science class, I'm learning so much more about politics. Like, I was definitely politically ignorant. Like, I have my opinions and beliefs, but I'd never liked to talk about politics because I never felt strongly about it.
Well, you
because I didn't understand it.
I don't know if it's going to be part of your curriculum. You're at CSN, right?
Mm-hmm.
You should take a class called Faith, Magic, and Religion from Joshua Levins. Anybody out there listening, I make that recommendation as well. That man and that class will fucking change your. I mean, legitimately, it'll fuck up your mind.
I mean, dude, I'm already like my mind's already getting blown by philosophy. I love philosophy.
But see, that's so. That class will really, truly help you learn to separate from self a bit more too, because the whole class it's an anthropology class. So anthropology is the study of people. You cannot study people with predetermined, ideas and thoughts. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, just like one of the craziest examples that I use to get this across to people is there's tribes out there that whenever the boys become men, they circumcise them. There's tribes out there that they have a blood ritual where they drink blood and semen from the village chief when they become a man.
That's
after they
horrifying.
But they go out and do this whole like hunt by themselves, and they come back, and if they have a kill, then they do.
Like currently.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, Jesus.
like part of the uncontacted tribe. Well, not they're obviously contacted,
Oh,
but like
gotcha.
actual tribes. Yeah,
Gotcha.
But-
Yeah, I know there's still like tribes living in like
yes,
like essentially like how we have the Amish.
yes. But that's the thing is, what people don't realize is there is nothing inherently wrong with that. Any of that. I mean,
Not to them.
because we have our beliefs. No, not just not to them. To every fucking person. There is no actual list of right and wrong.
That's
every
true.
list-
Everyone has a tendency to just base it on religion.
Exactly. Every list of right and wrong has come from religion and people. There was no giant rock that said, on this earth, no. So killing is a good example. There is no actual thing. There's no divine construction around it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just it's an action. That's all it is. There's totally reasons and places to kill at certain times or whatever. Somebody's coming at you and your family with a gun, you shoot them first. Boom. That you know what I'm saying? We automatically start attributing right and wrong to that. But if that happened and every single other human being on the planet immediately disappeared and it was just those people and that guy, is it wrong? Or even if it was reversed, he shot them, robbed them, took all their belongings. There's nobody else in the world. So I mean, who's there to say that it's wrong? Who's there to accuse you or you know what I'm saying?
That's fair. I mean, hey.
And that's another thing too is wrong always goes to the victors of war. Sorry, right always goes to the victors of war. So whenever you lose a battle, you don't get to dictate history of what you know what I'm saying. Basically the losers always get the short end of the stick because you're not dictating that battle in history.
Like Alexander Hamilton. That guy created our entire finance system. And he was hated by Jefferson, Madison. The only guy that had his back was Washington. Right? And then as soon as Washington stepped down, Hamilton just got annihilated. Everyone hated him. They finally got him out. And then after he died from Aaron Burr, sorry. When he finally died from Burr, that's when everyone came out and was like, shit, he was right about a lot of things, actually. Did you know that he was the reason that Thomas Jefferson won the presidency? Yeah.
Long
Because-
D is the real
because
original
even
for
though-
financial system.
Even though the political people did not accept him, or they didn't like him, he was just very outspoken, was his thing. He was very outspoken, but he was a very prolific writer.
Yeah.
So, essentially, the people that voted still highly respected him. And when it came down to Burr and Jefferson, even though Jefferson and Hamilton technically hated each other, Hamilton backed Jefferson because his thing was Burr doesn't have his own opinions. He will emulate the powers that be's opinions.
Yep.
As he just plays the pawn. But Jefferson actually has his own beliefs, and he won't listen to anyone else unless he agrees with them.
And that's people can manipulate
And-
systems like that.
And that's what I mean. Like, Hamilton backed him, and because he backed Jefferson, Jefferson won by a landslide, destroyed Burr. And that's why Burr was so infuriated that he killed Hamilton in a duel. You know what Hamilton did in that duel? So back in the day,
Didn't he turn early?
No.
Oh.
Hamilton turned and raised his gun to the sky. Because technically it was a honor thing. If you point your gun to the sky and shoot, it's supposed to end the duel.
Oh, I didn't know.
Burr was too fast because he was too mad, too bullheaded, and killed him. And then Burr apparently hated himself for that. Because apparently they started out as friends when Hamilton first came to this country. From the Caribbean. Believe it or not. He was an immigrant.
I mean, technically, they're all immigrants.
Oh yeah, no, they're all immigrants, but I was just surprised to hear that he was from the Caribbean. That's all.
I know.
Dude lost his father left when he was I think 10. Mother died from sickness by the time he was 12. The cousin that took him on after that shot himself and killed himself by 14. And then he was raised by his mother's landlord. He made it to America because he wrote in the newspaper. And somehow the Americans got a hold of this and raised a fund for him to be emigrated to America when we were still under Britain's control.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of the
And he was
fat
actually a
electrician?
huge part of the Revolutionary War.
Have you heard of the fat electrician?
The fat electrician?
Yes.
No.
So he's another YouTuber. Hashtag shout out. I love him. He's hilarious. He's like an ex-military dude. He tells all kinds of stuff about war and history of people and like different battles throughout time, and he just describes them in awesome, hilarious ways. And he's got a I think he has a video about a few of our founding fathers that tell you some
Hamilton was a badass dog.
super crazy stuff. It's wild. And they were all, you know, in their 20s, 30s. Now our presidents and people running the country are all, you know, crypt keepers. Fucking ancient.
That's wild.
That's why we need to get rid of the Supreme Court. I mean, the fact that they got rid of Roe v. Wade type, you know what I'm saying? Just
See, that was bullshit.
stop taking away people. Just let things be up to people. That's
They
it.
reinterpreted the Ninth Amendment. That's what happened. And that's what I hate about our political system. It's just like, it's all about interpretation. At the time.
But that's the whole thing, is that the fucking first 10 are called the Bill of what? Rights. So if you're going to amend something from the Bill of Rights, you are officially fucking with rights.
They used the Ninth Amendment. You know what the Ninth Amendment is? The Ninth Amendment is unenumerated rights. Meaning, even though it's not a specific right, it cannot be taken from someone. You know what I mean? Like certain things that aren't specifically said can't be taken as your right. It's super fucking vague, and that was the whole problem with it.
Yeah, because they weren't exactly worried about writing about abortion when they're trying to be like, we need to
They're
write
like,
a new nation.
Basically, the original interpretation of the Ninth Amendment is what I believe is what got Roe versus Wade installed in the first place. And then this current Supreme Court reinterpreted the exact same amendment and said, well, according to the Ninth Amendment, we feel this means the federal government should have no control over this and allow the states to dictate this themselves, causing it to be overturned by one vote in the Supreme Court. So there was, it was a 50-50 torn thing, basically, or 60-40, really, but yeah, I was pissed when I friggin' learned about that. I was like, are you freaking kidding me right now?
I mean, I'm all for not having the government have lots of control, but if the government having control is acting as a protection for it, I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I feel like those are different things. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, do you have any idea what that's caused? Orphanage rate has raised over, I think, 20% now since Roe versus Wade's been overturned. Infant death rate has dramatically gone up, and also pregnant, more women are dying from miscarriages now more than ever, basically, because in a lot of states they don't allow abortions at all, even if it's guaranteed that pretty much guaranteed that the mother's going to die. Yeah, they don't care.
Yep.
Because they just want to stick to their rights.
Oh my God! And did you hear that they're trying to put
they believe you're a murderer.
Something in schools, something religious. I think they were trying to have them have Bibles in school, or dude, something. Oh, the Ten Commandments. I think there was some place that they're trying to put them into the school system as curriculum.
So they're gonna take away cursive and add the Ten Commandments.
I know. Speaking of which, we have not used cursive ever. Thanks, schools. All the stress.
Hey, I learned cursive.
I did too.
I've always used cursive.
For what?
Everything. I always write in cursive.
For what though?
Like, what do you mean?
You write your name in cursive for signatures. What are you writing by hand, William?
I mean, I type a lot more than I write these days.
That's
But
what I'm
anything
saying.
that I do write is still in cursive
But when do you write shit?
all the time. Dude, I work at a law firm. Like I have to write notes all the time on things that I'm working on. Like I have like a little task list, and I have to write notes on the tasks to make sure that I'm keeping up with everything.
God,
Hey, sent, pending approval.
I'm surprised they don't.
I write all the time, dude.
I'm surprised that I'm not worried about it. I need it to be printed so I can read it.
No, the thing is, I'm not allowed to bring anything that I write down out of the building. So as long as I leave it on my desk, I'm good. So it just stays on my desk permanently.
But I'm talking about the people that you're doing it for. Somebody, you know, what I'm saying you're writing notes for someone to read.
No, they're for me. It's just a way for me to keep up with it because I'm constantly multitasking.
Oh my god! But okay, well we're
You
talking
get what I'm
about
saying?
no, we're talking about needing, not doing it for shits and gigs in your diary. When have you needed to fucking use cursive?
Oh, needed to write in cursive?
Yes.
Technically, never.
That's my point, Bill. Because they forced it in school as curriculum, saying this is all you will use in college. You have to learn cursive. You'll use this through college for any letters
that was
you write.
before computers were so advanced.
Exactly.
That's for sure.
But that's what I'm saying is that's a huge change and revelation right there on its own in that way.
You're right. Okay, I get what you're saying now. I was like, dude, I write in cursive still basically every day. Like,
And that's fine. But
I
that's,
just don't read. I mean, I do write in cursive even if I have to give it to someone to read. Like any police statement. Like back when I was an EMT, all my reports I wrote in cursive.
weird.
Yep.
But it's never been a required thing. Like they
It's like all through
advised.
high school and middle school, cursive.
Yeah, because we had to.
No, it wasn't required.
Fucking my school they did. Every time you had to have a paper.
At
in.
Silverado?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Dude, they didn't even
no.
require that at Coronado, and there were some kids. Oh my god!
I guess
I would argue they need to
well,
go back to reading and writing.
It could be the English teacher. It could, because he was a badass, but he was a hard ass.
Yeah,
he was a wrestling coach.
I always wrote in cursive because I went to Catholic school in elementary school.
Tyler probably remembers his name. I can't remember. I'm forgetting his name at the moment, but Tyler probably remembers his name. He's a cool ass teacher.
Yeah, I always wrote in cursive, man. Like it's just my
I
whole
mean,
life.
like,
I
you're the
don't
only
know.
person I've ever talked to about it.
When I found out they took it out of the schools, I was really upset. I was like, "What? Why? What was the point of that?"
You're legit the only person I know.
No shit. Oh my god.
Oh, what up, Alex? Appreciate you joining.
Hey.
I agree. Mandy. Oh, I don't think Will's reading. So.
Nope.
Government should be focused more on making people get a license and proper training to be a parent before taking away the right from the women who know they can't be good parents.
Dude. 100%.
100%.
Parental competency.
Yeah. And I feel like you could also, loosen gun laws and gun rights a little bit if you also added an extra layer of conditions of mental evaluation. Because, you know what I'm saying?
Mental evaluation is one, although I just feel like that would be so astronomically expensive to the point where they make it a cookie cutter thing, super fast process.
Well, no, that's why you'd make it. It'd be
I would
basis.
argue gun safety requirements. You have to pass a basic gun safety course. Like you have to understand how a gun operates. You have to understand not to point it outward, not to, you know what I mean? Like all the things that you guys taught me when you took me out shooting.
Yeah. I mean,
like you guys would not let me fire that thing until I knew how to do all those things. Like I had to learn to load it, unload it, all of that.
But see, yeah, I feel like they should teach. They should have a guns class in schools. You know what I'm saying? Like
100%.
Have like a driving range.
Like if it's legal in the state, yes, teach them how to use that shit.
Yeah.
Because that's more effective. I mean, maybe not in school. Maybe make that like an. Do you understand the hypocrisy behind doing that in a school, right?
Well, yeah, but that's only because of the
based on like all the sensitivity around that subject.
But that's just because that's how the fucking environment has gone. You know what I'm saying? If you'd have done that back in the day, if you would have, they did have shooting classes actually. I think.
That I don't doubt.
But fucking when was the first school shooting in modern times? You know what I'm saying? So it's not like
it was before mental health started getting recognized as a serious condition.
Mm-hmm.
Which now people are like, oh, that makes sense now. It's like, oh, you mean like half the people that came back from Vietnam completely mentally didn't didn't ring any bells as to mental health being that important.
Yeah, that's
This has been a thing that's been pre-existing for so long now, but no one ever shed light on it or recognized it, anything. They just thought, you're crazy. You're fucking crazy. That's it.
Well, at one point, they also thought people were fucking witches and stuff. If you how many people that were schizophrenic that were exorcised, that were drowned and launched out of catapults or burned as witches?
No, that's what's funny though. Even in Salem, it would be said if they admitted to being a witch, they actually would not die. It's when they would constantly refuse that they are that thing. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. If they admitted to it and just said, "Yeah, I'm a witch," they did nothing about it.
I feel like that.
It's fucking
right.
weird. I'm telling you, it's a weird contradictory in history. But when you were accused of being a witch and you refused to admit it, they went after you, bro. Every time.
Alex was like, or just don't take away women's rights at all. Mandy was like, amen, Alex. The government focuses all in the wrong places. Let's face it, if men could get pregnant, this would never be an issue. So unfortunately, you're probably right.
Fax, no printer.
Yeah. Fax, no printer. Oh my god. He's changing on me. Yeah. I feel like, they should protect the rights for people to just fucking do whatever they want. You know, if it's their own body. You know what? Honestly, if I was like, hey, I want to chop my left arm off for shits and gigs, I should have that right to go to a hospital and be like, hey, I want to do this. Get a mental evaluation. Like, all right, yeah, he's normal. He's just weird. Chop the shit off and go. But no, if you try to do that, you're immediately going to be put in a fucking white jacket, bouncing up against the walls. I don't want to do that. That's just a good example.
Fair. Jesus.
Oh, yeah. And when they were doing lobotomies for epilepsy.
Oh, my God, yes!
Oh, yo. So I actually...
Because they thought it was demons taking you over.
So, this is kind of mental health-ish, I guess, but not really. I learned recently, your brain has this fine membrane between the lobes that helps signals get across. And they started doing, I think they still do them in extreme cases now, but they started doing surgeries where they would actually cut that part out of your brain. And what it does is it helps to keep whenever you have a seizure starting, because it's a crazy surge in electrical stimulus.
Overstimulation.
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically, by them cutting that off, they can help keep it from spreading to the other lobe. So it keeps the electrical currents centrally located in one spot, one half of your head.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I mean,
they tried to do it for a bunch of other stuff. It was actually 4 other things that they were trying it for, and it just turned out that it was good for epilepsy.
Just messing with my brain is just...
Yeah, don't mess with my brain. Especially, dude, if we ever become like Futurama with heads in jars, don't sign me up. Do not sign me up. Fuck you. Please, God, do not.
No. I mean, unless I had a really cool robot body.
No. Hell no.
I was kidding, dude.
Bro,
I would not want to live like that at all.
Imagine never being alive and conscious, but not being able to
Can't
touch,
feel
smell, taste, feel.
I'm definitely too passionate of a person to not want those things, so yeah, that wouldn't work for me. What are people saying?
Oh, Alex was saying for other neurological disorders, but I think originally it had something to do with mental health originally. I think the very first procedures of it were people attempting to stop depression or something. I was like, no, I don't know. I can't remember what it was. You should look it up. It's just crazy. It's very interesting though. Don't touch my brain.
Yeah, no. I got enough problems to deal with.
Straight up.
God. I don't need to deal with physio-neurological issues.
They'll fucking cut my head open and it'll be like what's his name? I can never remember his name, but in Scary Movie 2 when it's got the little dude in Shardy's head. You know what I'm talking about?
This is your brain on drugs.
Yeah, this is your brain on drugs. Yes. Dude, I love those movies.
The older ones were better.
Yeah, the older ones.
I mean, Scary Movie 3 was still pretty good in its own right.
Yeah, I'd say after 3 is where it really started to drastically go downhill.
Yeah.
1 was really
Left
good.
field.
2 was fucking superb.
3 was,
3
like,
was
okay,
decent.
all right.
And then 4 was like, okay,
3 was like,
this
this still
sucks.
has legs.
And then 5 is like, what the hell is going on?
Honestly, I would say 3 was only as good as it was because of how good the cast was. Because none of them were like Kevin Hart wasn't known yet, and he was in that movie.
I know he was in that movie. I always quote those motherfuckers.
But
How do you wake up dead? That's redundant.
That's. But if you go to bed alive and you wake up dead.
I can't say the other lines because he throws the N
Oh
bomb in
my
there, but
god, bro!
so good. I love their conversations.
Like, dude, but that was like. But my point is, like, I think that's why that movie was as good as it was, is because they had
Agreed.
a killer cast that was trying to prove themselves. They really did. I mean, Anna Faris. I mean, obviously, she already had a very good career going for herself at the time, but.
Plus, I think that was before Charlie Sheen really was like, everybody was like, ooh, you know?
Yeah, no, this was when he was still like 2.5 Dads Cool.
Yeah,
And everyone loved him?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, he was still good. You know, before he decided to like smoke a bunch of, talk about blowing 13-gram rocks and shit. Like, dude.
Yo, he's got one speed. Let's go. I'm not gonna lie. I watched that interview and he's like, 7-gram rocks. I'd finish him. I'm like, that's kind of my boy.
7-gram rocks. That's what it was. But
I mean,
still,
I would
dude,
never
like,
do.
what
I'm not
the
doing
F?
those, but
Winning.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, he wasn't ever a half-ass mofo. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was
But
balls
he-
to the wall 24/7.
Dude, he was the highest paid TV sitcom guy ever. And somehow, some way, he still got all that ego in his head. Like, dude, he like acted like he won the fucking Oscar or something. Like,
Ego's
dude,
a
come
major
on.
killer. Like, I hear The Rock has a
Like,
super
dude.
big ego, and that's a fucking major celebrity boner kill for me. Like, I used to love The
I
Rock.
love The Rock, even still, man.
If he's like that, if his niceness
Well,
persona
until you
is a
meet him,
front,
Don't listen to what people have to say, because when it comes to fame, there's gonna be people that hate you. There's gonna be people that love you.
well, yeah, but I mean,
Period.
but there's part of it that you can confirm with his fucking trying to shoot down other movies, because there's multiple movies that were in his universes that he's like, yeah, you're not doing that. That's in the Black Adam universe. You can't do that movie. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, because he wants to be the number one person in the Black Adam universe or whatever.
But he's part of DC.
Well, yeah, but
Like,
that's,
DC universe is DC universe. Like,
Yeah,
Black Adam is a part of DC.
yeah, but so it's part of, like, when you read Black Adam comics, it's somebody from the universe of those storylines. But
Oh, so they're like just trying to make them their own thing? Do they have their own comic line?
I don't remember who it
Because
was.
that would honestly make sense to me. 'Cause it's like, why would you want to star a character that is in a Black Adam comic book and not a character of their own who already has their own comic line?
Hopefully I remember, which I probably won't, but if I'll try and remember and look that up for next week so we can talk about that too. With actually remembering what the movie was, because what I remember reading it and being like, that's definitely an ego thing. But I mean, I'm with you. If it is just some kind of small side character,
That they're just trying to blow up out of nowhere. It's like that would honestly make sense to me. Like, I'm like, because it's like, why won't you just incorporate him into another Black Adam movie that has D-Rock in it? Like, that would be the way to introduce the character, at least, if you were to try to do a spin-off from there. It wouldn't make sense just to have a spin-off without a preempt to that. Like,
yeah, like going from like what's a good example? Like Lois Lane getting her own fucking comic book series.
before you make the Superman
Yeah, before you make the Superman movie.
movie. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, no, this was after Black Adam was already out.
Okay, so one Superman movie, and now all of a sudden Lois Lane's her thing.
Yeah.
And
Everybody's like,
Superman is
"What?"
not a part of it.
Yeah.
Like, that's weird.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you.
That's
there.
like making a movie about Robin without Batman. And only Robin.
No, that's like making a movie about Alfred. You know what I'm saying?
The life of Alfred.
Yo,
Although he's a badass, though. Like,
Yeah, I bet
like
you-
low key. He's
I
a
bet you
badass.
Alfred has had a gangster life. For real.
It's like leading up to those 30 years. He was
Yeah, because I mean,
he was in the military prior.
he's always stitching up Batman. He's always giving advice to Batman. Sorry, Bruce Wayne. And the man never reacts to anything. He's like, "Oh, hello, sir. You're bleeding on the carpet." So he knows what's up. He's been around blood and gore, and he gives zero shit.
Like, here, let me treat that with some vinegar to get it out of the carpet. Oh, also let me just stitch you up and then cauterize that bitch. Now you're not bleeding.
Yeah. But whenever they would
He's
go
like
to
a
social
field
events,
medic, dude.
dude, he would
Field
totally
medic
get
mixed
tanked.
with like a sniper.
Yeah. Well, oh god, dude, did you ever hear about there was a medic in World War II. Guy saved like 30 people under
Yes.
fire without ever having a gun.
There's a movie with
Oh yeah,
Andrew Garfield.
they did make a movie about him. I forgot about that. That's so crazy.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
I'd be picking up every gun, every grenade, just be lobbing.
Like, dude, like you gotta do what you gotta do.
Well, yeah, because he was running back and forth in no man's land. Just
Oh yeah, dude.
Bro.
Like, oof. I was an EMT, and I can personally say that shit would petrify. I'd do it, but it would petrify the hell. I'd probably die.
how did we get so off topic from this
Self
last?
identity.
Yeah, the self identity.
Because we have ADHD and we rabbit hole.
True, you're right. Well, I mean, I feel like a lot of that did have to do with self identity. I mean, we're still talking about ego.
We are all we're talking all about those things that are relevant.
Yeah, yeah, that works. Yeah.
But like my main point to the whole self in the chariot thing is just it doesn't matter who you are right now. Who you are right now doesn't apply to who you're going to be.
Yeah, but it's a stepping stone.
Exactly.
So I feel like that.
You can make your own path, whatever the hell you want it to be.
So I feel like that. I feel like it should be rephrased to, it does apply, but it should not the entire journey.
Yeah.
So like who you are now does affect who you will be in the future, but it's not all you
It's not all
will
your
or
effort.
can be.
Exactly. It's not all you're going to be. Like when I was like the best way I can describe this for myself is growing up. I always imagined myself,
Oh yeah, don't forget like and subscribe, everybody. Appreciate you guys, and definitely appreciate everybody actually talking with us this week.
yeah, it's actually pretty cool. We're going up.
Yeah, Hacksaw Ridge. Thank you.
Hacksaw Ridge. That's
God.
amazing. Yep.
Oh, and that's the Fat Electrician. He does a video on him. It's beautiful. It's so good. He does so much. Oh my
that's
god,
cool.
you'll love his videos for sure. He tells you about people and things you've never even heard of, like from like wartime planes and tanks to people.
Yeah.
He has like a whole series of war animals. Dude, we were dropping beavers. We were dropping ducks,
Pigs.
pigs. Like, what the hell?
I know. It's insane. It's insane. But anyway, back to
Yeah,
what we were
yeah.
talking about. My point is, when I was growing up, I always imagined myself being like muscular, in shape, married, happy, good career. Never like had a specific picture as far as like what that was going to look like. Though, like I always imagined that I'd have all those things, and then the first opportunity I had, I just took it. Right.
Mhm.
So I actually wrote a speech about this in my communications class because we had to write a self-reflection speech to like tell people who we are or like what we've been through type shit. And I don't know if I should read it or not, but I called it Glass House, right?
I mean, I wouldn't read an essay on a podcast. It's very
No.
long,
It was 3 minutes. It was a 3-minute speech. So no, it wouldn't have been that long.
why do I remember speech class? I feel like there's so
It
much
progressively
longer.
goes up throughout the semester. So by the end of the semester, the last speech is supposed to be like 10 or 12 minutes. But anyway, this was just an introductory speech to like rip the Band-Aid off, get everyone
Yeah.
used to doing this. So essentially, I named my speech Glass House, and I basically I never even went into details about the things that I went through, but I basically just described it as like building a house,
Mhm.
right? I had a vision of, hey, this is my foundation, right? Met this girl. Oh, cool. That wall's been built. Cool. Married that girl. Cool. That wall's been built. Oh, she has a kid, so I'm a dad now. That's another wall, right? So every time, and then bam, became an EMT. Got a nice cushy job in corporate on the Strip, whatever, big corporation, good money, good benefits, able to provide, right? So every time I did one of those things, that's another wall being built in my house. And essentially, it got to the point where I finally got to the part where 2019 came. Her father died, my father died. So, bam, in that sense, I noticed some damage. That's when my marriage started having problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
The speech is nothing like this, by the way. I'm just like kind of describing it.
Yeah.
But essentially, I noticed some damage, but I just figured I could just patch it up, move on, keep it going, right? Like, okay, all right, my dad's gone now, all right. And right before COVID happened, I was having, I was going through some crazy shit. I had a heart attack call. It was my very first, fresh heart attack call. And, as an EMT, that's super exciting. It sounds fucked up, but it's really exciting. Actually.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Because that's exactly what we train. That's like the moment you train for as an EMT, and that's what separates. Are you going to make it in this field, right? So, and I saved the guy's life. By the way, I saved his life. I was the first one on scene, and I was the only me and one other officer who was just there as support to comfort the wife, who was screaming his name, Billy, in my ear.
Ugh.
Which I thought
remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, you remember that story. Okay, but yeah,
but
I saved that guy's life, and that wife called us and said whoever hopped on him first saved his life. That's what the ER doctor said. Ding! And I felt so good about that. 2 weeks later, we all closed.
Oh, yeah.
That was 2 weeks later. Everything closed.
I get that, though.
Everything. And I was forced to basically think about all. I had to keep working the whole time because I was an EMT. I was a essential worker.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to keep on working. And essentially, everything that I had gone through building my house, I kept noticing more damage, even though I was like, oh, well, I just need to make more goals. I need to make more money. I need to buy nicer things. I need to buy a house. I need to do this. I need to do that. I kept putting up walls, but realizing every wall I put up was damaged to the point that I couldn't fix it.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized when the storm came, my house shattered because it was completely made of glass.
It's pretty good.
Right?
I mean, Glass House is bad just because, you can't be naked in that bitch. If you watch 13 Ghosts, they're going to come after you.
With technology these days, you can have that special tint where you can make it clear and tint.
True.
Like that, dude. Have you seen that shit?
Yeah.
It's like a flip of a switch. It makes it super tinted. You can't see through it, and then bam, you flip the switch and it's clear.
Or you can just have a two-way mirror. So
that too.
Yeah.
But either way.
One-way mirror. Sorry.
Metaphorically speaking, that's how I described my speech essentially, without going into great detail about things. And I got a perfect score on my essay or on my speech for that. I was like, Boulder.
Pretty much my entire speech class, I literally every single thing that I did throughout that entire class was about environment and conservation. Every single, because they're like, since you have to pick shit that that means something to you or that you know from or that you can speak from. That's my everything. The whole class was about nothing but that. Fucking speaking about Brazilian deforestation and how much carbon it actually releases. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, my next speech. Big one.
What is it?
Well, we're doing demonstration speeches. Sourdough bread.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I've never made sourdough bread before, but, I have a ton of culinary experience. So
yeah.
So far, I'm on day 4 of making my starter, and it's going exactly as the directions are describing. So I'm doing something right. And I'm very excited to make sourdough.
Yeah.
Dude, I love sourdough bread.
I do, too.
I'll bring some to you.
For sure.
Next Friday.
I should try and do something like that sometime. I'm always too focused on making sweets.
Dude, all you have to do is buy wheat flour and bread flour. That's it. That's how you make sourdough starter.
Add a little water. Let the yeast do its own thing.
So the first thing you do, quarter cup of water, half cup of wheat flour. Let that sit for 2 days. And then you go through a feeding process. So you take out half of what's in there,
Mm-hmm.
Like it has the directions that I have has like an exact grams amount
Mm-hmm.
based on like what you're putting in. But every day it's the same amount that you're putting in. By day 3 you're putting in like half a cup of bread flour, quarter cup of water, half cup of bread flour, quarter cup of water, and you do that every day all the way up to day 7. By day 8 it should be fluffy and ready to go. And then you just mix that into your bread mixture.
Yeah.
And that's what creates sourdough. Freaking wild, but I love it. And I've been taking pictures every day, so because I plan on showing pictures as I described each day.
Yeah.
I did not know it was an 8-day process.
Well, it's kind of like that for alcohol, like making mash and then waiting for it to ferment.
Yeah, but I just didn't realize sourdough was like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you think about beer, yeah, you would expect it to take time to be brewed and made and all that, but like
they're both just
I've
doing
always
the fermentation.
but I've seen bread made in the same day. That's my point. Is like I didn't know that there was so much that goes into it, and I really liked it, and I thought it was challenging, and I wanted to do it.
Yeah, it's pretty much whenever I know like whenever there's gonna be some kind of fermentation, it's gonna have some time. Like kimchi. You know
I didn't fully understand that because again, I've never made bread. Period.
Oh, you've never
I
made bread
have seen
at all?
bread made. Yeah, no. Dude, closest thing I've done is like getting those like quick biscuits, those grands. Or croissants or something that you buy from Pillsbury. Look, I was a chef, man. Like I learned how to grill, smoke, cook, cut, slice.
But that
baking was not anything I learned.
But that Thanksgiving that we had at my house where we dropped the turkey, cleaned it and recooked it. Didn't we make rolls? I thought we made fucking rolls too.
You made rolls.
Was it you? You didn't help me with it?
I don't believe so. I thought I was just mostly on the turkey.
Maybe. I don't know.
But I remember that. And then you made your fried okra.
Oh. Welcome, Max. Appreciate you coming. Max said sourdough is alive. Yeah. See, that's what I like about that kind of stuff. I really would have thought that you would have had add some kind of yeast to it, but I know there's like natural bacteria and such forth.
But I mean, they have like starter kits and stuff like that you can use, but I wanted to make it from scratch, and it's actually super cheap. Like I literally spent $6 on 2 bags of flour.
I really
and you also have to have like a mason jar.
Oh yeah,
and I have one.
Dude, I got these big glass jars with rubber seals. I used them to make red wine vinegar. I got mother of vinegar, and I put it in the red wine. Fucking burped it and all that shit. I mean, this was like 1.5 years ago. It's gone now, but I made a big old fat jug of red wine vinegar. It wasn't perfect though. It still had a little bit of winey taste to it, but it was definitely vinegar.
Hey,
so
I like red wine vinegar.
I do too. I was proud because it was the first time I'd ever made vinegar. I was like, fuck, I had to do all the Googling and all that shit. I had to order the mother of vinegar because I'm like, I'm not gonna try and really like old school this shit. You know what I mean?
I get it. I mean, hey, you know what I started doing? I started because cooking oil is like pretty expensive, so I actually started making my own beef tallow.
Nice.
Yeah, so I buy like these giant untrimmed freaking tri-tips from Winco, and I just chop off all the fat that I'm just very clearly not gonna eat, or it would just be to eat, like honestly. Yeah. And I'll usually render about a good pound and a half of fat, and that creates like half, like a little mason jar, like half of that beef tallow.
Nice.
Dude, that shit is better than butter, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
My Christ.
Oh yeah, especially for deep frying. That's what McDonald's used to deep fry their fries in before all the vegans got mad. Wait, chicken skin? You just deep fried skin?
Yeah, like I bought chicken thighs with bone and skin on it. Just ripped the skin off. Deep fried those suckers. Took them out, seasoned them with some barbecue seasoning. That shit was bomb.
I thought with your health kick stuff, you're not supposed to eat the skins of that crap or whatever.
There's nothing wrong with eating the skins. Frying them is probably not the best, healthiest way to do it, but
yeah,
I just wanted to have something good, motherfucker. Like,
but you fried them up by themselves, which is what's killed me, like fucking pork rinds.
Yeah, basically.
You made chicken rinds. I've never.
Yeah.
Good for you.
They were delicious.
I'm sure
it's not something I do very often.
I don't like crunchy stuff.
Just every
like crackling.
I love that stuff, honestly.
Not me.
Oh, Actually, for a while when I was doing keto before I got onto like this current nutrition plan that I'm on, I would actually take chicharrones and I'd throw them in a food processor, and I would use it to bread chicken so I could have fried chicken.
Okay.
It worked.
I
It was
bet.
still super crunchy. It fucking worked.
Are you still using like egg wash and flour too?
Mayonnaise, low fat mayonnaise.
I know low fat mayonnaise works
It's
really well
great
for
binder.
grilled cheeses, bro.
Great binder.
And instead of using butter, wipe your bread with frickin' mayo.
Well, it's because it's made with oil.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's why you get the low fat one.
Mm-hmm. But since it also has like the egg and other stuff in there, it makes it have that extra like umami kind of flavor rather than
Yeah.
butter. So yeah, y'all try that with a grilled cheese. I know it sounds crazy, but just try it once.
Oh, I'm sure it's delicious, man.
Dang, we actually went longer than our intended hour.
We had a lot to talk about today.
Well,
Y'all got a good show today.
yeah, we're as you can tell, we're slowly getting better. So we definitely appreciate everybody who's been
Better
here.
equipment. Hopefully next we'll get a better camera as
Yep.
well.
Gonna get better cameras, better sound. We have pretty decent lights now. Those ones turned off. I just noticed.
Oh, I thought you
But
turned them off.
I
They
did
were off
not.
since you sat down.
Damn.
Like-
But yeah, so hopefully we'll keep improving and keep giving something that people want to watch.
And then I'll get a better chair.
Yeah, he has a better chair. It's just at his house, and we can actually both have gaming chairs like this.
That would be nice. It got uncomfortable about 20 minutes ago, and I've just been like trying to like
Adjust. That's why you've been freaking kneeing the damn
move it.
table.
Yeah, because my back is hurting. I'm like, damn it.
We're getting older, bud.
I'm
Alrighty,
a
well.
31-year-old man. Emphasis on the old.
Very. All right. Do you have anything else you want to say or anything? to our
No, I
guests?
hope you guys enjoyed the show today, and we're definitely going to work on having better content prepared like we did today.
Yeah. So hopefully you guys are liking it. Definitely appreciate everybody commenting and actually interacting with us.
Thank you. And don't forget to like and subscribe and share.
Yes, like, subscribe, and share, please. It helps us so much.
It will help.
We should do like Mr. Ballin, where he tells people to do a bunch of just different random fucked up shit to the like button. Like, break into the like button's house and replace all of his underwear with edible underwear. Like, that's the kind of shit he would say. Like, yeah, or invite the like button to your wedding, but give him the wrong date and the wrong time. Like,
make the like
I love
button
Mr.
your
Ballin.
ordained minister, and then don't show up.
yes, there you go. Yeah, see, you're picking up on that. Alrighty. Good night, Mandy, and appreciate everybody for being here.
Thank you guys. Love you.
We'll be back next Friday. Our goal is to do this every single Friday around 8:30, 9 o'clock. So, hope to see you guys back.
Stay tuned.
And eventually,
And then
I'll
we
get
got to work
to
on this part too.
Yeah,
like
this
this
part
is
will
terrible.